The following program has been brought to you in part by Sennheiser and the Airline Pilots Association.
On this episode, we'll tell you what the FAA predicts for the future of U.S. airlines traffic, who started the KnownCrewmember program and where you can find the next security checkpoints, and how Delta pilots honored their Eastern comrades. All of this and more here on The Flight Deck. Hello, I'm Sharon Varab. Welcome to The Flight Deck. The Department of Homeland Security signed an agreement with the United Arab Emirates to establish a customs preclearance facility in Abu Dhabi. ALPA blasted the deal, saying the government is using American taxpayers' money to give foreign airlines a competitive edge. Captain Moog, president of the Airline Pilots Association, says this money talks policy could mean CBP facilities are established at the expense of national security. The union urged Congress to ensure that the administration acts to protect U.S. airlines and their workers. Airline pilots around the world cast their collective vote for Delta Airlines Captain Don Wykoff to remain IFALPA president. Captain Wykoff says he will work hard to hold the member association's trusted confidence moving forward. Elections took place during the final session of the Federation's 68th annual conference. FedEx says it wants to reduce aircraft carbon emissions in its fleet to the tune of 30% over the next 8 years. That includes meeting at least 30% of its jet fuel requirements through alternative fuels by 2030. This time frame also aligns with when the company expects the delivery of several newer aircraft. This decision would benefit the cost structure by replacing the aging fleet. Captain Cal Flanagan, number one on Delta's seniority list for the past 8 years, recently retired after 37 years of service. Flanagan began his career as a mechanic in 1968 and worked his way up to pilot in command. He flew his last flight into Atlanta on March 8th. From everyone here at ALPA, congratulations, Captain Flanagan. For more, please see the April issue of Airline Pilot magazine. Have you ever wished that you could access your NOTAMs on the go? Well, now you can. The Federal Aviation Administration made NOTAMs available on its mobile website mid-March. All you need to do is search by the airport code. To see for yourself, visit faa.gov/mobile. Coming up next, find out how the KnownCrewmember program got started and where you can find the next checkpoint.
From the first time I boarded a commercial plane as its pilot, I've embraced the responsibility I have to the safety of my passengers and crew. And I have the best flight gear, even the headset certified for commercial duty. It lets me concentrate on the task at hand, making this the safest flight my passengers will ever have.
The feature-packed HMEC 26 provides long wearing comfort and more than 18 dB of noise reduction. Try the HMEC 26 on your next flight and hear the difference for yourself.
Have you used the KnownCrewmember security checkpoints across the country? Here's Flight Deck correspondent Jesse Cornelius with more on the program and how you can keep track of which airport will see it next.
29 airports have embraced it. 39 airlines participate in it, and the crew members who have used it more than 5 million times love it. It's KnownCrewmember. The alternative security screening program for pilots is in its 5th year of operation, and it's continuing to gain ground. A KnownCrewmember access point is expected to open at Fort Lauderdale later this year, pending the completion of construction. Reagan National has also been approved. ALPA is working with Airlines for America and the TSA to open an access point as soon as possible. That would bring the total number of participating airports to 31, possibly by the end of this year. ALPA and A4A are also urging the TSA to add dozens of other airports to their approved list. But while this program may have seemed like an overnight success, it was actually years in the making. ALPA spent decades working with legislators, regulators, and the airline industry to advance risk-based security initiatives. The association urged the U.S. government to use what is known about passengers as a way to better allocate screening resources and enhance security. The best example is airline pilots. They undergo extensive background checks before being hired and hold a unique status as trusted members of the aviation community. By processing low-risk individuals like pilots more quickly, the government can focus more time and resources on identifying individuals who may pose a greater risk. Today, KnownCrewmember is hailed for shaping the risk-based security initiatives emerging for passengers. One example is TSA's PreCheck program, which is presently at 40 airports and growing. The trend continues internationally. More and more countries are pursuing risk-based security initiatives like KnownCrewmember. Just last year, the U.S. and Canada announced an agreement allowing Canadian Nexus members to use PreCheck at U.S. airports. After blazing a trail for a new era of aviation security, ALPA continues to advocate for risk-based security initiatives that will give aviation a more secure future. I'm Jessie Cornelius on the flight deck.
Now it's time for our final Watch and Win segment. First, we'll announce the 2 winners who were randomly selected from the correct entries from our last episode. Congratulations, Peter Harmon and James Brown, for making it to the next round. Both of these names, plus our 4 other winners, Peter Dubrova, Jeffrey Brown, David Barkdahl, and Brian Leach, will now be entered into our final grand prize drawing coming up next. The name we select will win a Sennheiser HMEC 26T headset valued at $850. Here's Marie Schwartz, the Director of ALPA Communications, to draw today's winner.
Thanks, Sharon. I too would like to congratulate the 6 finalists. Now, each person is represented here on one of these ping pong balls. We're going to put these in the case. There's some paper in here to make sure everything turns easily. Close it up, spin it around once, and let's see who our winner is. Well, congratulations, Peter. Sennheiser will soon be in contact with you for your headset. I would again like to thank Sennheiser for making this Watch and Win segment possible. We really appreciate your support.
Delta pilots recently honored the thousands of Eastern pilots who proudly and professionally flew the Great Silver Fleet. In a recent resolution passed by the MEC, Delta pilots formally recognized them as trailblazers of the profession. Eastern shut its doors in January 1991 after the 8-month strike of 1989, where the Eastern pilots stood resolutely against the corporate raider Frank Lorenzo. Delta MEC Vice Chairman Jim Van Sickle officially presented the resolution to the Retired Eastern Pilots Association. Captain Dan Vishen, a previous Eastern MEC Vice Chairman, joined him. The resolution also acknowledges the Eastern Airlines Pilots Memorial, located in the North Terminal of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. The bronze plaque identifies 6,744 Eastern pilots. See more on this story in the March issue of Airline Pilot magazine. That's it for this episode of The Flight Deck, which will also be the final episode. ALPA Communications will continue to offer videos through other vehicles, so please stay tuned to our YouTube channel, We Are ALPA, for the latest in aviation industry news. To our loyal viewers, thank you for your support. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know at flightdeck@alpa.org. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and fly safe.